America safe for generations. And President Trump just reminded the world that the United States of America will not be pushed around. But while our troops are strong overseas, Democrats here in Washington are playing politics with our security right here at home. Nearly every single Democrat voted against fully funding America's Homeland Security. Think about that for a minute. Let that sink in. Every single Democrat, nearly every single Democrat, I think there was one, voted against funding America's security. Perhaps that's why they didn't stand during the State of the Union. But under the Biden administration, more than 380 people on the terrorist watch list crossed over to our borders. Around 100 of them were released back into the interior of our United States. That's not speculation. That's not politics. Those are the facts. And yet Democrats are still refusing to fully fund men and women who protect our homeland. Our Coast Guards, our TSA agents, and the professionals working every single day to keep our country safe. That's not just irresponsible, it's absolutely shameful. We can debate policy all day long. That's part of the job. But we do not play politics with national security. We do not gamble with the safety of American people, and we do not leave our troops wondering whether we have their back. So right now, thousands of brave Americans standing watch against Iran's threats, and 6 have paid the ultimate price. To the troops supporting Operation Epic Fury, America and Republicans stand with you. We see your sacrifice, and we are praying for your safety. And when your mission is done, we will welcome you home with the gratitude in which you deserve. With that, I will turn it over to the chairman of our Intel Committee, Mr. Crawford.
Thank you. I thank our Chairwoman McClain for bringing us together.
See how fancy schmancy we are over
Very
here?
fancy. Very fancy. I want to first acknowledge the incredible success of Operation Epic Fury. This is a testament of the leadership of the White House, the Pentagon, the State Department. This operation has been a masterclass in American military superiority. We continue to pray for our safety of our U.S. service members, and we pray for the families of those 6 that have been lost in service to this great nation. Let me say one thing that's important to note. This is not a new war. The Iranians have been at war with the United States since 1979. This is a 47-year predicate, and President Trump had the courage and the resolve to say, not anymore, not on his watch. We're going to put an end to this. And for the former military intelligence officers who've served in Central Asia or the Middle East, they know that this is not a new war. It didn't just happen out of the blue. And I would also say this has been an unprecedented level of transparency exhibited by the Trump administration. I certainly haven't seen this level of transparency in my time in Congress, or for that matter, I can't recall, even as a military veteran, the level of transparency that's been exhibited by President Trump. As Chairwoman McClain indicated, the Democrats are playing games with our national security, refusing to fund our DHS. This just can't stand. This is not the time to be playing games with funding when we have such a high threat level here. Iranian proxies remain committed to Iran's dirty work, and they're not limited to a specific geography. They'll come here and they'll exercise here. Cyber attacks could be particularly damaging here in the United States, and we should never allow a lack of imagination to be our downfall. Every single day, DHS remains shut down. The Democrats are sending a message to the American people that they don't care about our safety, they don't care about our national security. With that, I want to recognize Representative Evans.
I know, I do like that. Well, thank you all so much for coming. I'm Congressman Gabe Evans, Colorado's 8th Congressional District. I was a cop for 10 years. I was a soldier for 12 years. I deployed to a combat zone in the Persian Gulf region, or the Arabian Gulf for our service members over there, in 2012 and 13 as part of the global war on terror, where I served as a Black Hawk helicopter pilot and my battalion's intelligence officer. I had a 5-month-old son when I left. He had just finished a month-long stay in the hospital. He was 18 months old when I came back. I missed every step. First steps, first words, first Christmas, first birthday. And so I want to speak directly to our deployed servicemen and women. We have your back. I've been there. You're there now. You trained for this. You are ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States. You are the guardian of freedom and the American way of life. When a nation sends its finest young men and women in harm's way, it is the obligation of that nation to support its warriors. We know the imminent threat that Iran posed. I know the imminent threat that Iran posed. We know what happens when that nation does not support its servicemen and women. I hit boots on the ground a week after Benghazi, and I will not repeat that same mistake. We have the backs of our servicemen and women. We have the backs of our federal and state and local law enforcement. I've done both jobs. The military is the outer perimeter that keeps our country safe. State, federal, local law enforcement, that is the inner perimeter that keeps us safe. They are the thin blue line. They have the watch. And so to my colleagues across the aisle who are denying our Homeland Security personnel their checks, I urge you, pass the Homeland Safety Appropriations Package so that we can pay the personnel that keep us safe on that inner perimeter here in the United States that work for our Department of Homeland Security. Our nation's security and my constituents' security depends on it. Thank you so much for coming, and now I want to introduce my good friend and colleague and a fellow veteran, Marionette Miller-Meeks.
I should lower the podium. Thank you, Representative Evans. The freedoms we cherish, the freedom to speak our minds, the freedom of the press, the freedom to vote and pursue the American dream are not guaranteed by words on paper alone. They are secured by the courage and the sacrifice of men and women who wear the uniform of the United States. And as a 24-year military veteran married to a 30-year military veteran, the father of a veteran, and of whom 8 children in our family, 6 of them served in the military, I know that truth all too well, ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Today I want to shine a light on 2 brave Iowans who gave their lives in service to our country. Major Jeffrey R. O'Brien of Indianola and Sergeant Declan J. Cody of West Des Moines, who were among the American service members killed by Iranian strikes in Kuwait. They were sons of Iowa, soldiers who stepped forward to defend our nation and protect these freedoms that we hold so dear. And because of heroes like them, America has stood for nearly 250 years as the freedom capital of the world, a beacon of hope where liberty still shines bright. And let me also tell you what our military and our veterans want. After having seen the egregious activities of Iran continually at war with us since 1979, we've seen the Marine Corps barracks attacked, we've seen the U.S. embassies attacked, we have seen the U.S. coal attacked, and members of the military paraded and shamed. Our military members want to know that we, in fact, have their back. And that means a response from the United States, not seven presidents saying we cannot have a nuclear-armed Iran. To our active duty military, we know you are in harm's way. We pray for you. We pray that you have all of the training and the equipment that you need, and if you don't, contact us and we will make sure that you get it. But you are defending this great country, and we, in the Republican Conference, we have your back. To the men and women serving our nation here at home and abroad, and especially those standing watch in the Middle East tonight, thank you. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your sacrifice. And know this, America stands with you, always. God bless our troops, and may God bless the United States of America. I'll now introduce Representative Nick LaLotte.
Thanks. Good to be with you all. Only Trump derangement syndrome can explain why House Democrats and Senate Democrats are blocking the Department of Homeland Security funding bill. That bill, and they say it's about ICE, But it's not. That bill and ICE is already funded for years, CBP is already funded for years. But the funding that comes from that bill funds our Coast Guard, our TSA, our cybersecurity professionals. And we're here today to highlight a few different issues. To ensure, one, that our colleagues from the other side of the aisle step up and meet the moment. Now especially, with conflict in the Middle East, is not the time to block funding for the Department of Homeland Security. We could be under attack by Iran. Cybersecurity issues have already risen in our borders already in the last week. It is time for Senate Democrats and House Democrats to do the right thing for the country and to fund the Department of Homeland Security appropriations bill. They should reject the notion that that party has had for the last few years to reject everything that President Trump has had. He's right to support funding for the Homeland Security Department, and I urge my colleagues to do the same. I want to bring up my friend from Iowa, Air Force veteran, Representative Zach Nunn.
It's always a privilege to go after a Navy man. Thank you very much, sir. Friends, this week, Iowa will receive two more of its own who died in defense of our nation. This follows on a trip that many of us had to Dover earlier this year to receive two Iowa Guardsmen who were serving in CENTCOM, killed by terrorists, and had the opportunity with the Iowa National Guard, a unit in which I have served, to be able to take action and eliminate that threat through Operation Hawkeye Strike. The brave actions of our men and women in uniform, whether it's in the Department of Defense or the Department of Homeland Security, is a direct reflection of the commitment that young people across our country are doing to protect all of us. As is noted, less than 1% will put on that uniform, but they will defend the 100% here on the home front. I want to share the names of Sergeant Deacon Cody. Cody was 20 years old. He followed a pathway that was very similar to my own. We both went to Drake University. We both wanted to serve our country. This young man actually was ahead of me in line. He was already a staff sergeant at age 20. With his family's blessing, he went to go serve in the Middle East. And he was serving with the detachment out of Des Moines, the 103rd Expeditionary Sustainment Command. There he was joined by his major, Jeffrey R. O'Brien, from Waukee, also growing up in Indianola, Iowa. He was a senior NC officer who had dedicated decades of his life to answering the call and mentoring young troops. This week they will come home with a flag not flying over their home, but draped over their coffin. The reflection of 6 KIA are a reflection of the ultimate sacrifice put forward to defend this nation. But they're also accompanied by 9 wounded in action. We spent most of the day on the phone yesterday with the spouses, with the families, with the kids, as they were evacuated from Kuwait under a barrage of Iranian weapon systems. I'm happy to report that they are now safe in Germany, waiting for their family. Their wounds are still under assessment, and I won't make any comment on their health or their final diagnosis until the families are with them. But I will say this, that the toll that's being taken, not just on those serving on the front line, but on the simple fact of trying to get Americans back into country, 17,000 of which have been done so bravely by our State Department and our Homeland Security, as well as the families just trying to get on a plane today. They'll pass by another group of individuals in uniform, our TSA agents. The same TSA agents who I awarded just 30 days ago a distinguished medal for their longest shutdown without pay. Frontline members of our security apparatus, protecting all of us, who now are facing no pay again. And while they're joined by brave sailors from the Coast Guard, members of FEMA, thousands and hundreds of thousands of individuals who are paid under the DHS budget, tragically, my colleagues on the other side have seen fit to continue this shutdown that deprives not only national security, not only the pay for these individuals, but makes it hard for a family member to be able to visit a wounded veteran in a time of crisis like this. Americans know it doesn't need to be this way. I'm proud of our leadership for continuing to fight forward, to recognize that we should fully fund our government, something that's not been done in the appropriate way since 1993. but most importantly, that we defend the things that matter, our nation. So for that 1% of Americans wearing the uniform, whether overseas or at home, not only do we thank you, we have an obligation to you. I'm proud to say that this team is standing up to do the right thing in the same way that you have. And as a combat veteran like so many on this stage who have flown these operations in the Middle East, our security at home starts with our security overseas. The most important security is the one that takes all of us into account, including our families, right here on the home front. Thank you very much, Lisa. With that, I'd like to invite my very good friend, a aviator, a helo specialist, a Navy veteran, Ms. Jen Kiggins, to come to the podium.
Thank you, Zach. It's a privilege to be here. I'm Congresswoman Jen Kiggins. I proudly represent Virginia's 2nd District, home to our East Coast Navy. When you turn on the news at night, you most likely are seeing an F-18 taking off an aircraft carrier, probably from my district. We're so proud of the men and women who have stepped up to serve. You know, we joined the Navy. I'm a Navy veteran, married to a Navy veteran, proud mom of a future Navy veteran, active duty Navy pilot. When we join the Navy, when we put that uniform on, we don't join the Navy to sit at the pier. We join the Navy to take that warship to sea, to be that tip of the spear, to be that deterrent. I couldn't be more proud of the men and women who are serving in the Middle East right now, especially the sailors from my district, but all of our military members. We're asking them to do an important mission, to finish the work that was started by Iran decades ago when they declared war with America. They've been chanting death to America in their streets for decades now. So the fact that this administration has put their legacy on the line and has taken that step to say we'll tolerate this no more and to make our country and our world a safer place, I couldn't be more proud to be a part of that team. At a time when we're asking so much of our military members and their families, I want to encourage my colleagues across the aisle to step up and support our military like this group of Republicans in our Republican conference has done. Right now we're playing politics with something like the Department of Homeland Security funding. I don't need my active duty members to be worried about the safety and security of their families that they've left here in the homeland. We need to go ahead and stop playing politics. This is a time to be unified, a time to stand together with our military and our military families so they don't have to worry about that safety and security piece. So I couldn't be more proud of the men and women in my district. I couldn't be more proud to stand with them every day of the week and to remind them that not just me, but my entire conference, the people on stage behind me, and the people here in Washington have their backs. We support them every day of the week. God bless each and every one of them, and God bless our great nation, the United States of America. Thank you, and I give the floor back to our chairwoman, Lisa McLean.
Thank you. And Mr. Crawford, if you want to join me, Chairman Crawford, we'll take a few questions.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman, Chairman, other members. When it comes to the Department of Homeland Security funding bill, the Democrats' demands, as you know, are policy in nature: a ban on ICE operations at churches and schools, a ban on mosques, requirements of judicial warrants, etc. Are you, as a conference, any closer to agreeing to those demands, or some of those demands, or are you not, in which case the bill seems destined to fail again?
Let me take that. I'll take that. Listen, we've been clear. We funded ICE. We continue to fund ICE. We continue to fund our homeland. But we are not going to put Americans at risk. We are on the side of law and order. We are on the side of law-abiding citizens. All you have to do is compare and contrast the split screen. Take a look at who the Democrats are supporting. Illegals, sanctuary cities. All we're asking from the Democrats is to keep America safe and put Americans first and law-abiding citizens first. So what I find is a little bit funny is the party of masks, right, all of a sudden wants to unmask all the ICE agents. Just look at the contradictions. You should ask yourself why we're in this situation to begin with. If 20 million people didn't cross our borders, we wouldn't be having this situation and we wouldn't be having these conversations that we're having right now. So what I would ask the Democrats, protect the people that elected you to serve, and that's your constituents, and protect Americans.
One other point I'll add to that. One of the demands that's been communicated was that they wanted ICE to cease operations or to not operate within proximity of voting locations. What does that tell you? So I think, think about that. That means they anticipate there being a reason for ICE to be at polling locations, and that should tell you everything you need to know about where they stand.
Thank you, Chairman. A couple of questions on the Iran bills up for vote today. Do you anticipate the War Powers Resolution will fail? And do you believe you'll get enough Democrats on the non-binding resolution declaring Iran a leading state sponsor of terror to pass under suspension?
I wouldn't handicap either one of those, but I will say this, that we need to understand that the president plays a role in the legislative process. So if they want to engage in political theater and raise this War Powers Act that they're trying to move, whether or not they're successful remains to be seen, but the president will have the final say on that. And I would also say that the president is acting well within his constitutional authority under Article 2, and he's doing it very well.
Last question. On DHS negotiations, what, if anything, do you think you can maybe find a middle ground on with the Democrats?
From my perspective, not much. Because what they're asking for is absolutely ridiculous. What we're asking for is follow the law and protect American citizens. Take one more.
Oh, yes. Chairwoman, I want to ask, what led to the decision for House Republican leadership to call on Congressman Gonzalez to resign? And do you expect him to finish out the rest of his term?
Yeah, my hope is he would finish out the rest of his term, and we didn't, leadership didn't, we issued a statement, we didn't call for him to resign. We asked him to
I'm sorry, yeah, withdraw from his race.
withdraw from the race. So I would refer you to the statement that leadership put out.
Thank you.
With that, thank you.
Oh, the logo. Yeah, see ya.
Dan, what's your Twitter handle?
Dan Scully 1.
Thanks. I'm tweeting what she answered.
Dan underscore.
I see it.
We can go back to it.
Yeah.
I don't know how pressing it was.
No, you're good. Good to see you, Liz.
Good to see you.
Do you guys need me for anything?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait, Jim Bull?
Yes. I was like, I know, I was like, whatever, but like,
He's gonna be a fun fighter, so I get this.
yeah, I'm like, yeah.
Nobody. Like, why would they wanna look at that?
No, it's like me with Nick at the beach,
Right.
me with my friends at home. Like, it's nothing bad. I'm just like, we don't need
You
it.
should, you gotta.
I want to follow it. I'm like, you don't need to see what I'm doing. I'm not walking.
I have
It's nothing
a,
bad, but like, you don't need to know.
I have a gym account, and some people somehow found it. And, yeah, it's all the powerlifting stuff I used to do. And Jim Graham. Oh, no, it's and it's a very obscure name. Yeah. But I think Evan Ritchie's told a lot of people about that.
Well,
it's his world too. Yeah, so, cause like Scalzo just tried to friend me on that, like, how the fuck did you find that?
I think it's when
What can you lift? That's the first
Yeah.
question.
Well,
If you want to be friends,
I'm
you
not
gotta-
gonna accept it, cause I
you gotta
know,
lift your body weight.
I immediately know the gym will screen grab everything and send it everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna happen.
Well, and it's like, I don't, there's nothing bad on it. It's not like beach, like, it's just like, I don't like, it's my personal.
Yeah, you should keep it on, because there is gonna come a time, at some point,
buy train smash.
I think the issue is
This
that
is
it'll
all,
be,
this is all my,
like,
somehow,
since it's like
I'm
a
gonna
cat.
friend you.
I know.
so you don't.
Be going right now.
My weight times two. So meat pie train smash is basically a savory mince pie with ketchup. Because in New Zealand, train smash is ketchup.
Yeah, that's what they call it?
Yeah. Train smash with blood. Train smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, a meat pie.
Yeah, so-
Are you at the top for?
So it's
Yeah.
basically like, the American version would be like, do you have the other phone? Burger mustard. The one-
Yeah.
Something.
But I don't wanna hang on.
But yeah,
Do you get it for
that's
that?
all.
I'm
The
just,
issue is that
just wanna have both, just for now.
sort of phone numbers.
Can you just give it back to me by the end of the day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, is what
that's
happens
what
with
happened,
mine.
yeah. It's also some part.
You're gonna be,
Yes, it's so
Yeah.
easy now. Yes, and like my profile picture is like literally me when I was like 7 or
Holding a 40 ounce.
Yeah. I'm like trying to, I'm like, it's not like me today, like, so I'm like, you
I
have
hope
to
that
do it.
McLean, sticks to her word
Yeah.
on that.
I saw her buying. Oh yeah, let these boys back out. They're chumming her out the window.
Here's her time.
I like to block people randomly. 'cause I can think.
It's like,
Who's this? Oh, that's not surprising.
yeah, well, I
Well,
know that, I
he
know
probably,
that once.
because he
so-
probably tried to ask you out numerous times, right?
Well, I'm not very friendly, so he actually didn't.
Yeah, you know who he is. He's a freelance videographer. I know who you're talking about.